Hey gang, good morning. I think it's still morning actually. We're videotaping a little bit earlier, and the reason I'm in my regular Sunday garb is because we just got done taping the worship segment, and so we thought we'd do this last, kind of mix things up a little bit. So if I look a little bit more official, that's probably the reason why. A couple of things I want to share with you. The information that came about from a council meeting that we had this past Monday. We were talking about the situation with the 21st, and we had originally put, and I think you read it in the newsletter, that we were going to be doing an afternoon 2 p.m. worship service out in the parking lot and out on the lawn, and there was information about that. But as we talked a little bit more about it, one of the things that I think most of us forgot, me especially, because the Father's Day is a working day for me, but the 21st is Father's Day, and we figured that one of the things that families love to do on Father's Day is they love to cook out. And because we didn't want to make families go, oh, should we go to church or should we go to do that, we decided to change the time. So on the 21st, our worship service will not be at 2 o'clock. It will be at 9 o'clock in the morning. Our regular worship time. That'll be kind of easy to figure out and remember, okay? But on the 21st, it's going to be at 9 a.m. There's going to be a letter that's going to come out and talk a little bit more about that. There's a part of the newsletter that talks about kind of some of the do's and don'ts, some of the regulations that we still have to follow as we're still inside this coronavirus issue. So please make sure you read that. Please make sure you read the letter when it comes out. And we're just looking so forward to getting everybody together on Sunday morning, the 21st, Sunday morning the 21st, for our outdoor / parking lot worship service extravaganza. And we'll figure out what that is later. So make that a mark on your calendar and put it out. I just want to share for a couple of minutes, and I've shared this with a few folks from church. Last week was difficult for me, and it was a feeling, and I was thinking, okay, where's that feeling coming from? It's the same feeling that I get whenever we have to cancel a worship service because of inclement weather. And I started thinking about a situation many years ago. And I'm just going to share this little story with you. I was at another congregation not all that far away from here. And it was Saturday evening into Sunday morning, and the weather was absolutely awful. In fact, there was a blizzard warning for this entire area. I was in the parsonage, and I was looking across the street because the church was right across the street from the parsonage, probably less than 100 feet away. I could not see the church. It was that bad. But yet, as I'm listening in the early morning hours to a local radio station, and I'll give a shout out to them, KISD out of Pipestone, Minnesota, as I was listening to the announcements that were coming on every 15 minutes or so, there wasn't a single Lutheran church that had called off worship. And as I said, you couldn't see across the street. And so about 10 minutes before 3, and I had been up all night anyway, so a lot of times that's what happens when there's a blizzard or something, you stay up. And I called the radio station, and I got the DJ. That DJ is actually still there. Diane is her name, and some of you probably have heard her on the airwaves. And the two of us started talking, and I was asking, hasn't any of the Lutheran churches canceled worship? And she goes, no, Pastor Dave, none of them have. And I said, I can't even see across the street. And she goes, yeah, it's that way in Pipestone too. But she said, we've had a lot of other churches, but she said, none of the Lutheran ones around the area have it. And we're talking, and she goes, maybe it just takes one. And I said, yeah. And we talked for another minute or two, and I said, all right, that does it. I said, there'll be no church at our church. And she goes, I tell you what, she said, I'll put it on the air at 3 o'clock, because I come on every 15 minutes to give an update. So she puts that on on the air. You know, no worship service at this Lutheran church. And at a quarter after, when she came back on again, every Lutheran church in the area had canceled worship. And so, you know, sometimes it takes that first one to do it, but it's still sad, and that's what I felt last week when Paul and I missed out. It was like something was gone. And in fact, I've even talked to some folks that shared with me that, you know what, it was different. We're back again this week, so make sure you watch us, and it won't be too long. We'll be able to be at least much closer together. Have a great day, folks. Take care. Bye.